What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, as of right now, I'm sure everybody heard the comments made by four-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer, who's currently the undisputed super middleweight world champion, widely considered by many to be the face of the sport of boxing, the cash cow, and top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, in Saul Canelo Alvarez. 57 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 big wins by way of knockout. He is 32 years of age, 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. Canelo Alvarez is preparing for his September 17th showdown with former 2-time unified middleweight world champion, superstar boxer Gennady Triple G Golovkin, who is his rival, who Canelo Alvarez has a draw to and a victory over. That seems to be his biggest rival. This is a trilogy, September 17th. With that said, Canelo Alvarez, he held his media day for his September 17th showdown with Gennady Triple G Golovkin, in which Canelo Alvarez, he made a statement of that when asked about what he think about Gilberto Zordo Ramirez taking on his former foe, the last guy he just fought, an undefeated WBA light heavyweight world champion, Russian superstar boxer Dmitry Bivol. Dmitry Bivol, he beat Canelo Alvarez unanimous decision, right, in their last fight. That was Cinco de Mayo weekend. And Dmitry Bivol is now going to face off against Zordo Ramirez. And Zordo Ramirez is a Mexican superstar undefeated fighter. And which fighter do you think is going to win, and do you want to fight the winner? He stated that if Dmitry Bivol loses the fight, he's not going to rematch Dmitry Bivol, but he's also not going to fight Zordo Ramirez because Zordo Ramirez is a Mexican fighter. And so Canelo Alvarez, he stated that he don't want to fight any Mexican fighters. He's going to stand clear of them. This including 2-time super middleweight WBC world champion, Mexican Ecuadorian superstar boxer David Benavidez, which is known to be the Mexican Monster. That's his nickname. 26 wins, no losses, no draw. 23 big wins by way of knockout. 25 years of age, 6'1", with a 75-inch arm reach. Okay, and David Benavidez, he just happened to get excluded from this conversation as well because David Benavidez is a Mexican fighter. Well, in response to that, David Benavidez is half Ecuadorian, and he represents that as such. He's half Mexican and half Ecuadorian, okay? And David Benavidez, he lets it be known that he is both. So he's not a 100% Mexican fighter. So that should clear him to be able to face off against Canelo Alvarez, in which, keep in mind, David Benavidez, he held the WBC title. He was stripped of the WBC title due to recreational use outside the ring the first time. And then the second time, he was stripped of his WBC title, because of he missed weight, okay? So because he missed weight and because he had recreational use, David Benavidez, he was stripped of his WBC title both times. He's undefeated, obviously, never lost in the ring, never lost his title in the ring. The last time he, was stripped of his title, Canelo Alvarez made it abundantly clear that, since he don't want to fight Mexican fighters, he strategically saw an opportunity in a window to become undisputed super middleweight without having to fight David Benavidez, and he took it and he ran with it. And because of how he's veered and beloved within the sport of boxing, he don't get enough kickback for it, right? And he's going to get a lot of opportunities. And so with that said, Canelo Alvarez, he had this to say. Let's listen. So you heard what he said. I don't want to fight with Mexicans because I represent Mexico. Let's listen again. I represent Mexico. Well, he said, I don't want to fight with Mexicans because I represent Mexico. Well, again, like I said, Well, that should leave the door open for him to be able to face against David Benavidez, who's going to become his mandatory, or it already is his mandatory, for the World Boxing Council title. And since he's half Ecuadorian, well, that shouldn't be a problem for Canelo Alvarez, because essentially he's not fighting a Mexican fighter, right? Now, what's interesting is WBC President Mauricio Suleiman has stated that if Canelo Alvarez chooses not to fight David Benavidez, then he can be franchised in order to maneuver not around fighting David Benavidez, which is very disappointing to say the least, because that shouldn't be the case. There should be no trap doors and secret doors and back doors to allow fighters to get out of fighting the best. People will tell you that Canelo Alvarez cleaned out the 168-pound division. He beat Caleb Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, and Caleb Plant for those titles. But the best fighter at super middleweight has always been revered in this recent time since the retirement and departure of Olympic gold medalist, retired undefeated Hall of Fame iconic superstar boxer Andre S.O.G. Ward, who reigned supreme at the 68-pound division, then moved up to light heavyweight 175 and dominated and beat the best fighter there, Sergey Crusher Kovalev. Well, since David Benavidez has exited stage left, Andre Ward exited stage left out of that division and then retired undefeated, David Benavidez has been viewed as the darling of the division, the best fighter in the division. And then once upon a time, the big fight to be made at 168 was David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant, in which David Benavidez would have opened up as the favorite over Caleb Plant. So he's always been viewed as the best fighter at 168. And so how could Canelo Alvarez possibly have cleaned out a division when he never fought the best fighter in the division? And this is a fight that David Benavidez, his father, Jose Benavidez Sr., have been calling for quite some time. And they let it be known that they feel like Canelo Alvarez is strategically moving around him. Well, now there's no question that he's strategically moved around them, because he's made it abundantly clear that he has no interest in fighting Mexican fighters. Okay, there was once upon a time where people was calling for Canelo Alvarez to face off against Zurdo Ramirez. Okay, and Canelo Alvarez clearly didn't want to fight Zurdo Ramirez, and once again he's made it clear that he's not interested in fighting Mexican fighters because he represents Mexico. So Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, who's 44 wins, no losses, no draw, 30 wins by way of knockout. He's 31 years of age, 6'2.5", with a 75-inch arm reach. Canelo Alvarez had no interest in fighting Zurdo when he was at 168. So he strategically waited until both of these fighters have, now exited this division or don't have a title, right? So this was all strategic on the part of Canelo Alvarez. And it's an absolute shame and disappointment and irresponsibility on the part of Canelo Alvarez in the sport of boxing, because he owes it to the fans. That $30 million check that he gets, every fight, that's because of the fan support, right? And he owes it to the fans to fight the absolute best there is, not put a label on certain fighters and say, oh, I'm not going this way because these fighters over here, I'm not going this way. That shouldn't be the case. He should be looking to fight the best. If you consider yourself to be the best fighter in the world, you should be looking to fight the absolute best. And to truly clean out 168, you have to go through David Benavidez, right? And imagine, there's a robot placed in the way. Now he's done gave himself an out, because Zurdo Ramirez, if Dimitri Bivol beats Zurdo, even though Canelo Alvarez lost big time to Dimitri Bivol, he'll get a pass for fighting him again, right? He's dared to be great. But if he goes and Zurdo Ramirez beat Dimitri Bivol, and you said you wanted to fight Dimitri Bivol, you got to see the setup. He said he don't want to fight Dimitri Bivol. That way, people won't say, well, Zurdo beat Dimitri Bivol, so you should be looking to fight the winner. So he already gave himself an alibi and a scapegoat, right? Because he don't want to fight Zurdo. So he's saying, I'm not going to fight Bivol if he loses, right? Because then people will say, why are you fighting the loser instead of the winner? because now Zotto would be the WBA light heavyweight champion. And then he says, I'm not going to fight Mexican fighters. So that way he don't have to fight and be urged to fight Zotto Ramirez. And now the best fighter in 168, you don't have to fight him either. This is all strategic. And it's a shame. And it's disappointing and it's irresponsible. So David Benavidez is half Ecuadorian. So that should make him available to fight for Canelo Alvarez. Should he be victorious like I expect him to do September 7th over Gennady Triple G Golovkin. I highly expect Canelo Alvarez to defeat Gennady Triple G Golovkin. I think he's going to actually get a stoppage to the body by the 7th round, okay? Triple G is nowhere near the same guy. 42 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 37 wins by way of knockout. He is 40 years of age, 5'10" and a half with a 70-inch arm reach. I expect Canelo Alvarez to get a 6th, 7th round stoppage victory over Triple G. And that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like the shitty videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.